Now, if that doesn't work, what can we actually do to lose that fat in that one annoying spot that just won't go away? And what we can do is how's it going, guys? Finally back again. It took me a while. I know, new place. Do you like it? It's my new consultation room. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so life has been pretty crazy the last few days now. Most of the crazy stuff is going on my Spanish channel, so you might not know about it. But to keep it short, I kind of bought a Lamborghini from a drug dealer, and now I'm famous because of it. It's a weird story, I know. If you want to know what happened, how much I paid for the car, what the car looks like, and all of that stuff, subscribe to the channel because I'll make a video about it in 2 or 3 weeks. I promise I will. But for now, we need to focus on something else. So the question for today is the one I get asked the most all the time, every time. I have some belly fat. It's just stubborn. It just won't go away. It's like down here or on the sides or like on the thighs. And I tried everything and that spot just won't go. What do I do about it? And if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I'm always honest. I'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And if you appreciate that from me and you learned something with this video, make sure to give it a like and share with someone so they can learn something too. And of course, if you want to learn more and keep learning, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That said, what you'll hear all the time is people saying, okay, I'm just gonna train my abs really hard, and what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna burn all of that fat around my abs, and then they're gonna finally show up. The idea is if your muscle needs energy, the closest fat to it is gonna be the closest source of energy, so that's the easiest one to use, and that's what it's gonna use. And although it sounds interesting, the truth is, that's just not the case. It's not. It doesn't work like that. And I'll tell you what you can do later, but first, let's go through why it doesn't really work like that. So first, we store fat below the skin in the form of triglycerides. We can't really use triglycerides as a source of energy. So it's not like the muscle is just gonna take what's around it and use it. What happens instead is those triglycerides get broken down into small parts. It's gonna be fatty acids, and then those fatty acids go into the bloodstream, circle through the whole body, and then from the bloodstream, your muscle can actually pull it and use it as energy. So it won't really matter if the fat went into the bloodstream from the legs or from the abs or from the arms. It really doesn't matter at all. And that was the theoretical side of it. Let's see what kind of evidence we have. First, there's a really old but good study where they took tennis players. Of course, tennis players only use one arm, either the left or the right arm, and they compared the two arms, the one that works all the time and the one that doesn't really work that much. What happened was they noticed that the arm that works a lot had a lot more muscle mass and a lot more strength, and that is great. However, they measured the fat in both arms, and guess what? There was no difference between the arms at all. So that's one thing that already leads us to believe that working the muscle will really burn the fat around it. Now, that was observational. What do we have of interventional studies? That brings me to a 2013 study where they took people, put them into the gym and did a full leg training. But actually it's not a full leg training because they only trained one leg, one side. And they made sure that everyone in the study actually lost weight and lost fat to see where the fat was coming from. And what happened was they lost fat on both legs. They didn't really lose just in one leg, it was actually both of them. So working out just one leg didn't really burn just one side. Now, if that doesn't work, what can we actually do to lose that fat in that one annoying spot that just won't go away? And what we can do is just keep losing fat until you lose that spot, okay? It's pretty genetic, so some people have more fat on the abs, some in the back, some in the legs. There's not much you can do about it. You can't just choose one spot and lose fat there. But what we can do is just keep losing fat, and eventually it will probably be the last place to go, but it will go away eventually. Now, another thing to keep in mind as well is that training, as we know, grows muscle. So if you keep training your abs and training your abs, what you're gonna do is just grow the muscles in your abs. And what we want is not necessarily a bigger waist. What we want is a smaller waist and big everywhere else. So to conclude this, the best thing you can do is actually not train your abs that much, maybe once or twice a week, but focus your training on your shoulders, your back, your glutes, your legs. That will give the impression that you're bigger here and smaller in the waist. Just having stronger shoulders will make the impression that your waist is a lot smaller and slimmer, and that the V-tape that everyone likes, both for men and women. And apart from that, as I said, just keep losing fat and eventually you'll get there. And with that said, as always, any questions, any comments, any suggestions of videos you want to see, leave it in the comments below. I'll make sure to read everything. And if the video was helpful, please give it a like. Also share with someone so they can learn whatever you learned as well. And to see more content of science-based nutrition and training, make sure to subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.